Talk to your mother.
I learned when you get mad to go off and curse people out.
Pause. He said he learned from his mother, but most of the time, the trauma that we have as children comes from us not being able to talk to our parents about what happened so we can grow and learn from our mistakes. We have to go through outside sources, therapy, the streets, our relatives, our friends, our spouses, because we can't get it from the person we're supposed to get it from, the nurturer. Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless you all. Officer Zach, Houston, Texas here. We got a short class for you. Title of this class will be Message to the Youth. I want to kind of go into just a little bit of youth violence. I'll do it in sections, but today I'll just focus on a little bit of youth violence. So we'll start off with Hosea chapter 4, verse 1.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
So first and foremost, the Most High has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. So first and foremost, we need to know who is he talking to when he says the inhabitants of the land. As we know, he's talking about the children of Israel. So when he says the controversy to the inhabitants of the land, what controversy is he talking about? Keep reading.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
So what is truth and mercy? Let's get truth. Psalms 1, you know that one.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
So first and foremost, if it's saying there's no truth in the land, that means nobody's following the laws of God in the land. So read Hosea 4 and 1 again.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath in controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth.
So and first and foremost, the reason why he's upset with us, because there's no laws in the land. Now what's next?
No mercy.
Mercy. What is that? Psalms 18 and 24? I think it's Psalms 18, 24. Go to that real quick. Is that it?
No, sir.
Or is it 25?
25, yes, sir.
All right.
Psalms chapter 18 and verse 25. With the merciful, thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright.
So the reason why the Most High doesn't have a lot of mercy on the land is because mercy is not being given to the brothers and sisters on the land. Meaning, in other words, we're not being merciful to each other, so the Most High is not being merciful to us. So the things that were happening to us in society, we're not getting any help because we have so much hatred and we don't have any mercy towards each other. So read Hosea 4 and 1 again.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
So the knowledge of God is supposed to come from who? You know what I want, Malachi? Because it says no knowledge. So in order for us to have mercy and to have the laws, we have to have the knowledge of God. And the knowledge of God is supposed to be given to us. Who is it supposed to be given to us by? Read it.
Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
So first and foremost, in our land, the pastors or the preachers are supposed to be the ones that hold the knowledge of how we're supposed to live our everyday lives. They're supposed to be the ones that we go to. Keep reading.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
So the priests are the ones that's supposed to be telling the people the laws of God. So read from the top. Hosea 4 and 1.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath the controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth,
So there's no laws.
nor mercy,
Nobody's learning any mercy.
nor knowledge of God
And
in the land.
nobody's being taught the laws of God in the land. So this is why God has a controversy with us. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15 to show that the Most High already told us it was going to be like this if we didn't follow him. So let's go to, you know what I want, Deuteronomy 28, 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the reason why the controversy is in the land is because God warned us and told us, hey, if you don't follow these commandments, I am going to put curses on you. And what happened with these curses over time has taken the laws of God out of the community. Well, we'll read it. Let's go to 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So first and foremost, your everyday life should be cursed, meaning your field is your job. Whether you're your own entrepreneur, whether you work for somebody, either way it go, you're going to be cursed in the job market. So when you look at the black community and you look at why we don't seem to prosper when it comes to the job market, it's because there's a curse on us. Why is a curse on us? Because we're not following God's laws. Remember, the laws is the knowledge that we were supposed to have in the land. So we not using it, so everything that we're doing is being cursed. Keep reading.
Verse 17.
No, 16 again.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
And in the city. So when you go into the inner cities, even the small cities, because when we go into small cities, what's happening in the small cities? In a lot of these small rural areas, black people are extremely oppressed. I think Kendrick Johnson, he live in a small outskirts town in Georgia, right? When you go to a lot of these hangings and a lot of these unjust murders on black people, it's a lot of times it's in the small cities. It's in the small rural areas. Or the hate crimes, so to speak. But then when you go into the inner cities, it's our people. It's our children and our children's families that are the ones that are the curse in the city. Let's show you what I'm talking about. Go to Isaiah 3 and 12.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
So the one thing you heard, well, in fact, read it again.
Verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
So what are the two things that you heard? You heard women and you heard children. Let's get the order of God. Let's get 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Because remember Israel, God said that women, and he said children, and he said women. That's the order that he gave in this particular scripture in Isaiah. But let's see what the order should be dealing with God. Read.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
So the one major thing that was left out in Isaiah 3 and 12 is the man, right? I didn't hear him say anything about the man. Let's read it again.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
So you know what that means? That means that there's a void somewhere. That means the man is not around. So in the societies where God's children is, the controversy, one of the main controversies is there's not a man around. So the man is not around. So what is it causing? It's causing the women and the children to rule the community. And what does it say is going to happen? Read it again.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
So when the women and the children are ruling the community, it causes the whole community to error, means to go off. So you know what that means? That means structure comes from the man. That means order comes from the man, but we're not having any of that. So I want to go into a little bit. We'll go into a little bit of it, where it shows that the children are our oppressors and the women rule over them. So let's go to let's do that Kevin McCall. Let's do the Kevin McCall when he's talking to his moms. So let's give a little backstory on Kevin McCall. Kevin McCall is an artist. I think he's gang affiliated. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he is. He used to write for Chris Brown, and he used to sing. So he had a certain level of celebrity, but he also was known for being abusive towards everybody, women, children. Oh, well, I don't know. I won't say children. Let me not throw that on you, brother. But brothers, men, and women, mainly women in his relationships. I know Iramah was one of his main, that's who his baby mama was. Iramah, she comes from a Crip family. She's a A-Tray. Well, her family's A-Tray. She talked about it on Top Model. She talked about growing up in Compton, growing up in LA. So I'm not making this up. So damn, she's violent as well. I mean, she may not be as violent as him, but she grew up in a violent era. So a lot of times these type of people attract one another, and then they have children, and because they're violent and because they're rough, they push that up on their children. So he is going to kind of show that in this clip. Let's play this clip. Let's play from the top.
I don't have to come around her, so why you need a restraining order?
Because you frightened her.
Does that give her the right to try to manipulate the system?
No, that gives her a right to protect herself.
Yeah, but I'm not a threat.
She felt threatened. No. I want you to use your tools. I want you to take a breath. This is not an attack. This is a moment of truth. Your mother was afraid of you because of your inappropriate behavior.
I learned the behavior from her and my dad.
Pause. I'll go back a couple of seconds because I want to hear what he says in his rebuttal to what the woman says. Go back. That's fine. We ain't got to go back that far.
Your mother was afraid of you because of your inappropriate behavior.
I learned the behavior from...
Go back to Isaiah 3.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
So let's talk about the type of women. Is it talking about beautiful, delicate women that's nice and loving? No. These women a lot of times are demons themselves. Second Ezra 5 and 8. Because one thing you'll learn in society is that women have been given the victim card. So they love to play the victim card. They love to pull out the victim card. Damn, I wish I had that clip where that lady said, the therapist, she's like, over the years I've learned to never trust women when it comes to domestic disputes or when it comes to their side of the story, because they always find a way to embellish, or they always find a way to paint the picture to make them the innocent victim, when a lot of times they're either behind it or they're right along with a lot of the situations.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
So let's just go. What I got? Let's read that.
Second Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
So when it says menstruous women bring forth monsters, it's talking about unclean women bringing forth monsters. When it comes to unclean, what makes you clean? Let's show what clean is. Ephesians 5:26.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
So if you're unclean, that means you do not have the word, right? That means you're not using the word to guide your life. Because if you use the word to guide your life, it's going to cleanse you. Meaning your ways are going to be clean.
That's
meaning
right.
you're going to, your reputation, your actions are always going to be justified. That's why the scripture calls them just ones, because they use the Bible to guide their steps. That's what makes them clean. So if you're unclean, that means you're not using the Bible. It's not talking about, it says menstruous because menstruous means unclean, but it's not talking about literal, she's bleeding and she's having a child. No, it's saying she's an unclean person. She's not using the scriptures. It goes into something else too in the future, but we're not going to deal with that part. We want to deal with the specifics, what it's talking about now. Her spirit is not clean. So read it again.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Okay, so let's play this clip again. Let's go into, so now you see the kind of characteristics of the type of women that breed forth these unruly children. So play.
Behavior.
I learned the behavior from her and my dad.
Now we having a conversation.
She said he said he learned that violent behavior from his mom and his dad. Do you think his dad was hauling off and knocking the hell out of her? I doubt it. You know who probably was the aggressor? The woman. Damn, you know what I should have did? I should have brought out those statistics. I'm gonna do it another day. But a lot of the most domestic violence is started and triggered by the woman. A lot of times the women provoke this behavior, pointing the finger in faces, swinging off on dudes, getting in their face, talking to them aggressive, and weak men hit them. Strong men walk away and don't deal with them anymore. And you have a lot of men that's in between trying to figure themselves out. And a lot of times those type of men have been raised in that household, so they think that's normal activity. So they put up with it. So you have this loudmouth, mean, just a rebellious, abusive woman. And because you grew up like that, because your mom was like that, you think that's normal. And a lot of times, those are the type of brothers that will haul off and hit a woman because they've seen this behavior before, so they think that's normal. So they think abuse is normal. So play it.
Conversation. Now we gonna have a conversation. Talk to your mother.
I learned when you get mad to go off and curse people out.
Pause. He said he learned from his mother, when you get mad, you go off and start railing. Is that scriptural? Are we supposed to go off and start railing? Matter of fact, let's get Peter. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. We want verse 9, but I want to show you specifically the woman is not supposed to move like that. He said he learned that from his mama. So, number one, now he has an effeminate trait because he's using the traits from his mom instead of using the traits from his father. And then number two, his mom is not moving right, and she's not moving like a godly woman. Why? Because she's menstruous, meaning her spirit's unclean. Why? She wasn't raised with the Lord. Because what? The ministers are not around, so they haven't been teaching knowledge in the land. So this is what happens when the people don't have knowledge in the land and they move off their own imagination. So read.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Well, there go that knowledge word again. That knowledge that they were supposed to get from the priests in Malachi 2 and 7. And that knowledge was the laws of God. So God is, what Peter is telling you, you are supposed to deal with your wife dealing with the scriptures. However the scriptures tell you you're supposed to deal with your wife, is how you're supposed to deal with your wife. Why did Peter bring that out? Because Peter was married. So Peter was the one going through the marriage and breaking down the marriage portion because he knew how it was. He knew how turbulent a relationship would be, so he's giving you the game. Like your grandpa, like your dad, supposed to put you to the side and be like, nah, don't do that. She gonna do this and do that. Instead, do this, do that. So Peter's trying to do that to us. This is what our forefathers did. So our Uncle Peter, we'll say that, is teaching us how we're supposed to handle women. All right, read.
Giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel.
So meaning you honor her as the weaker vessel, meaning you're supposed to have understanding that physically and mentally she is not on the same level as you because you're the God. She's the God bearer, but she's not a God. So you are at a different plateau than she is. So you're supposed to honor that by treating her like so. Read.
And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another.
So remember, God said he has a controversy in the land because there's no mercy. That's going into compassion. We're supposed to have compassion for one another. Compassion will stop you from hauling off and knocking the hell out your wife because she pissed you off. Compassion will stop you from trying to swing on your husband because you don't agree with his leadership. That's what compassion does. You know, matter of fact, I wouldn't find that in what Christ had compassion on the people when he saw them sinning. I think it's Mark.
The book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verse 36.
Come on.
But when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion on them.
Anger.
Compassion on them.
That, I'm going to tell you something. Remember, Christ knew who he was. Christ understood that he was the reason for sin in his past lives. So he wasn't just hauling off and just going aggressive on people. He was trying to heal them. He was trying to show them how to overcome the sin that he gave them when he was at them. So he had compassion on the people. When he saw them sinning, he felt bad because he knew this come from me. This come from my root. That wicked heart that I was given, I gave it to my children. And now my children are moving like this. So I got to heal my children. I can't get mad at them and start smacking them around and because they sinning. What he did? He healed them and told them what? Sin no more. He gave them the power to stop sinning. That's why he came on the scene. He came on the scene to fix what he broke. So he had compassion. When he saw people doing sins, he's like, damn, that come from me. Damn, that come from me. Damn, that come from me. And let me show you how to fix it. Come here, come here. I'm going to heal you. This is how you fix it. You fast and pray. You get married. You stop doing this. You, what you see? Like he was, this is for him to be healed. He wasn't the sinner. His parents wasn't sinner. God just did this so I can do this miracle. Go for it. Like he understood his purpose when he was moving because he understood this was all a reflection of him. So when he was on the planet, he had compassion. Why? Because he's our father. We as children, we are the weaker vessel. So he understood that. So he had compassion for the people. So you as a man, you got to have that same compassion. So go back to where we left off.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil.
I'm sorry. Courteous. You know what the opposite of courteous is? Churlish. We're going to go to that later. We're going to show you an example of a churlish brother. But for right now, courteous. A lot of people don't know how to be courteous one towards another. You talk to me crazy, I'm going to knock your ass out. That's called railing in the Bible. You're not supposed to talk to people aggressive. You're not supposed to talk to people crazy. So if God don't like it, why you think a man gonna like it? He's long suffering and he don't like it. Matter of fact, he got, what is he? Exodus 11:7. He tell the people, don't talk bad about my people or I'll punish you. So if he doing that to the other nations, how much more he gonna do that to you? How much more your brother gonna do that to you when you talk crazy to your brother? And a lot of times brothers get that terrible mouth from their mom. Their mom teach them how to talk reckless and be disrespectful like that. Because why? Because men don't talk like that. Because we already know. Two men talk like that, what's going to happen? They're going to have to see each other. And guess right. Sometimes it's pow, pow. Sometimes it's stab, stab. So you got to be careful on how you talk to another man. Women get passes because they're a weaker vessel, and sometimes they abuse that pass. And their children watch that behavior, especially when there is no tether, meaning the man, to teach them that that's not how it's supposed to go. So go back to 1 Peter.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9. Not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing.
That's the point. Railing for railing. That terrible mouth. That's what a lot of our people, men and women, get in trouble with. And a lot of times it's because they have not been raised to speak appropriately. So is that what I wanted? Is that what, everything I wanted off of that?
Got a little more left.
All right, go ahead.
Not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise, blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
You know what that's called in the modern day? Killing a nigga with kindness. Sometimes you got to talk to somebody. You know what? Something else I seen? It was some dude. I forgot. I think it was Doughboy. Doughboy, he was like, what I've learned in conflicts is you need negativity to continue feeding the negativity. So a lot of times when somebody's being aggressive and negative to you, if you be nice and positive to them, they can't continue. So a lot of times you diffuse the situation just by being positive. Because two, a negative and a positive, but a negative and a negative. So what you had something?
Oh, yes, sir.
Go ahead. What you got?
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
Exactly. Kill a nigga with kindness. You know, we start looking at a lot of proverbs that our people used to use back in the day. A lot of them proverbs was very heavy. We just didn't understand them. But as you get older, you start seeing them like, damn, it sounds aggressive, but it's scriptural. And a lot of times that's what it be. A lot of times those proverbs be very aggressive, or they be sound and simple, but they be very, very scriptural. So there you go.
Sir.
So kill a nigga with kindness. Proverbs 15. But let's go ahead and play the video. Let's finish playing the video.
Throw things and do stuff like that if people are doing you wrong.
How'd you learn that?
I saw you do it to Dan. And I remember one time you threw a knife at him. And it went past my face and went in the door.
Damn, pause that. Don't that sound like Saul and King David? Hold on, let's find that. Was it Samuel? 1 Samuel, right? Let's find that real quick. 1 Samuel 19, chapter verse 10.
1 Samuel chapter 19 and verse 10. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall. And David fled and escaped that night.
So that's the spirit your sister was rolling in. That's just how I let you know you were the children of Israel. The sister got the spirit of Saul on her. And we know, matter of fact, what kind of spirits does Saul have? Go to chapter 16, verse 23. Because this was Saul was battling. So don't think the sister was, remember I told you, men's just women. Read.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 23. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul.
The what?
The evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
So the evil spirit departed from him because David played that music. But when David wasn't playing music, where do you think the evil spirit went? right back on Saul. That's why 3 chapters later, go back to 19. That's why 3 chapters later, he trying to kill David. The very man that took the evil spirit off of him.
The hell
Now
is
he
this?
want to kill him. Read it.
1 Samuel chapter 19 and verse 10.
Come on.
And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall. And David fled and escaped that night.
So now we're gonna call her Sister Saul. Let's listen to Sister Saul. Let's go back a little bit.
Past my face and went in the door.
Back a little bit further. I
Garden.
want him. I want the whole thing. There you go. That's good. That's good enough. Right there.
You do it to Dad. And I remember one time you threw a knife at him. And it went past my face and went in the door. And Gardena.
Pause.
You remember?
You see her face? No accountability. You think he making that up? Now watch this. Play.
You don't remember throwing the knife at
I
Dad?
remember throwing the knife at the door. If I wanted to hit your dad, I would have hit him.
Pause. Confess your faults. 5 and 16, James. This is one of the biggest issues we have. We got so much pride. We can't never be wrong. That's a feminine trait. Read it.
James chapter 5 and verse 16. Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
So sometimes you just got to take the L and confess your faults. But a lot of our people don't like being wrong. So that's the sister right here. Brother telling her. Matter of fact, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Watch this. Play it.
Purposely threw it at the door.
Hold on, stop. Go back. You seen the other brother shaking like a little tree in the wind? That's how you know she was a terror in that house. Right there. Watch this. Watch the skinny brother. Play.
Purposely threw it at
Him.
the door.
Look at him shaking. Y'all seen him
and
shaking?
that
Go
was
back.
20 years ago.
I want the crowd to see that. Watch his arm and his watch. He is shaking from fear because he remembered the traumatic SH that his mom used to do. Play.
If I wanted to hit your dad, I would have hit him. I purposely
Look. That could be the dad. I don't know who it is, but he don't look old enough to be the daddy. But his arm is shaking. He trying to hold because he remember those situations. Keep going.
threw it at the door. And that was 20 years ago.
Pause. So you think this little Negro is making this up? It was 20 years ago. That means it was traumatic to him. He remembered verbatim. He's telling her, and she remembered. But you know what she's trying to do? She's trying to pull that victim card out. Instead of just taking accountability and saying, damn, I taught you an evil lesson. I'm sorry. I was wrong. But instead, she's trying to do the Rembrandt thing, trying to paint a picture to make her look good instead of just being the truth. Play.
He was a child, and he learned violence and inappropriate behavior from you and his father. How does it make you feel to hear your son say you and his father taught him inappropriate expressions of anger? You don't have to justify, rationalize it. 20 years ago, he was 9. Do you understand how frightened and terrified he was? Mm-hmm. Do you get that? And now, and he couldn't take out an order of protection against you. Mm-hmm. But now you as a grown woman, when he displays what you taught him, you go get an order of protection. Tell him how it makes you feel when you hear him say, you taught me that.
It makes me feel...
So pause. Go back to the order protection portion. Go back to Peter's. Rendering evil.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9. Not rendering evil for evil.
So play it again.
It makes me feel that he...
That you...
No. Go back
that you-
to the point where the order protection was put. Play.
Do you get that? And now, and he couldn't take out an order of protection against you. But now you as a grown woman, when he displays what you taught him, you go get an order of protection.
Pause. Now I'll read the scripture.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9. Not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
So showing you, remember, Peter was giving this instructions to the wife. This is the husband and the wife. So this sister is supposed to be displaying this not to be rendering evil for evil. But now, because she don't like something her son do, now she wants to put the laws in his life. Why? As punishment. A lot of sisters like to use the court system as a punishment for you because they can't physically harm you. So they want the court system to physically harm you. It's damn near wishing death on you because they know what's going to happen when the court system get involved. It's a high probability that you might not die, you might not live. You understand the evil intent for a woman to try to call the police on you after she done started some stuff with you, and then hoping that the police come and put hands on you or shoot and kill you. This happens quite a bit.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
You have a murderous spirit, sister, and you've passed it to your children. That's why we have a lot of children with murderous spirits. Keep going.
Tell him how it makes you feel when you hear him say, you taught me that.
It makes me feel that you are focusing on.
Still can't take accountability. It's everybody's fault but home. Keep playing.
On me before my growth.
Yeah, amen.
Pause. Now she's trying to blame her age. She's the mother, not him. Now she wants to blame him. Oh, you're putting stuff on me before I was grown. What? You had a child. You were raising a child. She refuses to take responsibility from her part of playing and making this young man a monster. Play.
Yes, I was angry, but I know I get angry. I did something about it. I got a relationship with the Lord.
Pause. The biggest lie in captivity is the black woman always try to say she's godly now. She always godly. And you notice she has not apologized yet. Because she doesn't feel like she's wrong. She's done everything but apologize. She's given all these she's doting about excuses, but she will not apologize. All she had to do is say, I'm sorry. Let the brother heal. She don't want him to heal. Play.
I read books. I learned what triggers my anger, and I learned coping skills to help me to diffuse. So I don't go off like that. I've grown, but I do regret that you saw that. So
I regret that you saw that. Not I'm sorry. I regret you saw that. Keep playing.
For the behavior I
Now go back a little bit, because this is what an adult would do. Showing you that the mama's still childish. So now the adult has to step in. Play.
Regret that you saw that. So
Please forgive me.
please forgive me
For the behavior I demonstrated.
for the behavior I demonstrated
That taught you
that taught you
it was okay
it was okay
to express anger.
to
Pause.
express.
You notice how his spirit lit up when Vonna said, please forgive me? Because that's all the brother wants. He's just trying to heal. And he just trying to tell her what's wrong with him. This is what's happening in the black community on a regular basis. There's so many men, so many women that are trying to go to their parents. And unfortunately, there's only one parent in the house. And they're trying to discuss their trauma so they can grow and get past it. And most of the time, the parent that is the most rebellious and the one that doesn't want to acknowledge it is usually a woman. I'm going to tell you why it's usually a woman. Men are always the villain. We're used to being the villain. So we don't really have a hard time taking accountability to our issues. Hell, half the time we're not even in the house. So the first time we meet the kids, we have to apologize any damn way because we wasn't there. And then we get to tell our side of the story. And a lot of times you find out it wasn't what you thought. But most of the time, the trauma that we have as children comes from us not being able to talk to our parents about what happened so we can grow and learn from our mistakes. We have to go through outside sources, therapy, the streets, our relatives, our friends, our spouses, because we can't get it from the person we were supposed to get it from, the nurturer. So, play.
Anger.
Inappropriately.
Inappropriately.
That's how you acknowledge. He can't unsee it. He
Yeah.
can't unhear it.
Yeah.
Even though it was 20 years ago. Breathe, mama.
I'm breathing.
But I really was just hurt, man. Incredibly hurt, and I felt alone.
I'm so happy that you
Pause. Got both parents in this house. There's a lot of people that grow up alone, even though they have their people around. Misunderstood, not being able to talk because there's a wall to where there's no communication because the parents do not want to keep it a buck with their kids. So a lot of times their kids feel like they're alone. The kids feel like nobody understands them. So they go to the streets for love. And nobody's told them the streets don't love you. And this is how our kids get caught up in the situations that they get caught up in. So let's go. That's one part. So let's go to the next one. Emotionally manipulate boys. Because that's the one that's wild. Now we're going to see the one that's not wild. So the first one, grow up wild, grow up a thug, grow up successful. Now, but he's violent. And now his mom is acting like she's too afraid for him to be around because she grew this monster. So now he's the problem. But look at this one. Let's go on the opposite spectrum. Play.
Sat here and told your son, who ain't got a needle in his arm, who I'm assuming pays his own rent. He's married to a registered nurse. He's got 3 baby boys. And you just sat here in his face and said, I don't respect him as a man.
Pause. This is the other part of a immature woman. They don't see what a man, they don't understand what a real man is. Go to 1 Kings. You know we want King David. Because what he said, why he's getting that, let's play this again, why he's getting that.
Sat here and told your son, who ain't got a needle in his arm, who I'm assuming pays his own rent. He's married to a registered
Pause.
nurse.
So he got a house. He's married. Keep playing.
He's got 3 baby boys. And
Stop.
you just
He's a father. And he pays the bills. That's all lawful. That's what God says he's supposed. Those are the laws of God that we're supposed to be following in the black community. What did David say makes a man? Read.
1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments.
So keeping his statutes and his commandments is what God considers a man. King David was one of the mightiest men on this earth. Ain't a thug on the streets that can touch David. All them fake gangsters, all them wannabe gangsters, they're I'm not gonna cuss. They can't handle David at all. David would have broke them in pieces. Any cat on the street could not handle David. So the manliest of all men is telling you what it means to be a man. And he's saying it's the statutes of God. God say you're supposed to get married. You're supposed to have your own house. You're supposed to pay bills. And you're supposed to raise up your children. That's what this young man is doing. And his mama don't respect it. Why? Because she don't like real men. I'm pretty sure he grew up without his dad because she liked thugs. I'm going to tell you, a lot of women don't know what a real man look like. That's the reason why they're lonely and they out here getting their boots smoked by a young man. These are Krugers. Krugers because they preying on the youngs because the old men ain't messing with them because they ruined their life looking for trash men to blow their back out instead of looking for quality men to raise a family.
The hell is
and
this?
A lot of men saw their moms move like that and they say, I ain't moving like that. I'm going to move the right way. And guess what? they don't get respected by women. Not all. A lot of them do because they get married, but a lot of women in society don't respect them. I don't want a man with a 9 to 5. I don't want a man that all this stupid crap you hear because they got mamas like that.
What?
Play it from. Let's play.
Sat here in his face and said, I don't respect him as a man. Mm-hmm. And you don't think to consider what that does to his heart, to his soul, to his spirit.
I'm sure that's hurtful.
And you okay with that?
And it's hurtful for the things that he says.
But there you go. You're doing it.
Pause.
You're doing it right.
Point the finger. What's that? 58:13, Isaiah? Or 58:9? Which one is it? No accountability. Right? They say, whenever you point the finger, there's another one pointing right back at you. Or 3 others pointing back at you. I don't know. I wasn't good at that. I wasn't good at accountability until I got into the truth. But I think, say when you point the finger, there's 3 more pointing back at you. So here we go. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Play it.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 9. Then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger.
So God say, I will heal you if you take accountability and stop trying to blame everybody else for your mistakes. Play it.
Right now, you're doing it right now. I'm holding you accountable and you spinning your web. You're trying to get away.
Now she's the victim. I can't say nothing. Now she's getting the tears to water. They do this all the time. There's a violin in their spirit that just starts playing, and they always think that they can just paint some kind of web to make themselves the bad guy. I mean, the good guy. Damn. You're not the good guy. You're wrong. But they all do this. Well, let me take that back. The majority of the broken ones do this. This is what they like to do. I can't do nothing. I can't say it's not fair. But you never take accountability for what you do. But men aren't allowed to do that. So a lot of times men, it's a little bit easier dealing with men because men are forced to take accountability. And if we don't take accountability, we get locked up or killed or on child support. Like, there's a system forcing us to take accountability, whether we like to or not. But a lot of times they don't. But it's not even supposed to be getting on them. It's just the byproducts of their behavior is going to make the point of the youth violence. But go ahead, play.
Tell me, here's the question. Just answer it. We'll get back to that other stuff later. Tell me.
Forgive me. I respect him. He's a wonderful man.
And now she's saying that out of spite. I forgot what that scripture is about being spiteful. But that's what she's doing. She's just doing it out of spite, just so she don't want to be wrong or she don't want to be looked at a certain type. But that's why he's looking like that, because he knows it's not genuine. But this is what a lot of our brothers are raised with. Play.
Understand that your mouth, your voice, your words are connected to the coils in his heart, to the valves in his heart. He can't help but love you. And every time you dishonor that love, you chip a piece of it. This is why in our culture as black people, when the boys turn a certain age, the men come and get him and take him away from the mother because she can emotionally manipulate him. But since we don't live in our culture no more, we say what we want to say, do what we want to say. We tear our men down and then wonder why they don't make good husbands and fathers.
Pause. Matthew 24:9. Yeah, is that what I want? Cold.
Come on!
Because Christ warned us this was going to happen. Christ warned us this was going to happen. Let's read.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
No. I want hearts of many turn cold.
Oh, yes, sir. Got you. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
So it said because sin will abound. Remember, the whole reason why this is happening is because Hosea 4:1, there's no laws in the land. There's no mercy in the land. And there's nobody teaching us how to keep the laws. So now sin has abounded, and now the love of many has waxed cold. Now we don't love each other. The women are, I don't know why they like that, but then they push that on the men, and now the men are cold-hearted. The men don't have any love for each other. So now let's show some of the byproducts of that. So one of the main byproducts of that is these damn terrorists in the streets. We have a whole lot of terrorists in the street. So let's go to everybody's favorite killer, King Von.
He was a serial killer who bragged about killing people, and he professed and confessed to be a demon.
He was that, bro. If he wanted you out of there, he'll go do it himself on feet by himself.
Vaughn gave me a lot of passes. He could have killed me a couple times.
I was happy as hell when I found out Vaughn was dead. I cooked for the whole day.
I was relieved for the community, man, because he was over there torturing them guys, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Something was wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man. He was the devil, man.
How are you rich and you're robbing people? You robbing producers. You robbing rappers. You got money.
So from what I hear, that documentary proves everything to be true. He is a serial killer.
Let's go to Isaiah 51:20. So unfortunately, this is a byproduct of the laws not being in the land. You have a bunch of lawless kids that was raised by menstruous women. So now what are they? They monsters. And read the scripture.
Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net.
As a wild what?
As a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
And so, because they are full of the fury of God, meaning the curses, they're not keeping the commandments. So, what's the number? Go to 10 Commandments. Which one was he breaking?
Come on.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
So if he would have been taught that, and he would have been pushed in a society, in our community, we wouldn't have brothers like King Von. Go to the other one. Go to Mad Max, because this is who he reminded me of. I'm like, oh damn, he remind me of Mad Max. This is Vaughn right here. We might not be able to play this one. We'll look at it in the back. We can play it, but on the B-roll, we might have to blur that out. So they won't be trying to pull the channel. But go ahead and play it. This King Vaughn right here. That's your boy. Man, Max ain't grow up in no family. Y'all seen shotters? These are little badass kids. And if you know anything about why you smoke cigarettes after certain things, because it's arousal, and then the cigarette would heighten the sensation of the arousal. Remember, he said he a serial killer. So now he said he used to brag about how many people he would kill, right? 134 victims.
The hell is this?
This is the type of men that we're raising when we move like this. So I wanted to go more into, matter of fact, let's go back to Hosea. Go to verse 2.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing.
And what?
And killing and stealing.
So you get these young men turn into this because they're raised by monstrous women. So now you got King Von, serial killers, and you got thieves, robbers. Keep going.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood.
Why? Because these things are going to cause violence in the streets. You cannot move like this. But we're not being taught the laws of God. So now our children are wild bulls in the net doing whatever the hell they want to do. And it's causing the community to be destroyed. Because if they were raised by the laws of God, it would restrain them from doing certain things because they would have respect for each other. But because mamas don't want to take accountabilities, daddies ain't around, or daddies are weak, these little kids is out here doing God knows what. And this is how we get the terror that we get in society. I want to go to, let me see, which one should I go to next? Let's go to Terrence. I think Terrence won. Y'all know who this is? This is the original. This is the original hot boy. As a matter of fact, go to Terrence 2 first. Let's go to Terrence 2 first. Remember, menstrual women breeding forth monsters. So this is the original hot boy. This is Baby's little brother. This is one of the ones that did all the killing for Baby. Him and some other cats. I ain't gonna say their names. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But he got out. They say he snitched, but hey man, I'm not in that life. You do what you do. But he got to deal with that between him and the Lord. But as he's gotten out, he's kind of, spoke on the mentality and the lifestyle that he was bred to live and how he was turned into a killer. But I wanted to kind of, just for a little bit, just harp on this portion right here, where he talks about his first encounters with being a killer. So let's play.
Walk us through your first time you had to actually say, I gotta shoot somebody.
I was 11.
11 years old.
Young, excited. I had already used to hang around this hood called 2nd and Daniel. We had like a little weed shop back then. And then Mosquito graduated.
I got brothers from New Orleans shaking their head. Yeah, they remember. They like, yeah. These brothers remember. So go back to Children of the Oppressors. 3 and 12.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
So he's telling you at 11 years old is when he was taught to be a murderer. Why? Because his daddy wasn't around.
Damn.
Miss Gladys was the one that was behind all this. Go ahead, please play.
The crack, but I pull up, pick me up, and it's like, because I always was one of the ones that like to brag a lot. Well, I do this, I do that. When you're young, you just say you do it, but
you notice a pattern. All these murderous serial killer rappers. You saw Mad Max. You saw King Von. They all like to brag. They like to brag and boast about all the violence things they did. God, what's that scripture it's talking about? I can't think of it right now. We'll go past it. It's one to talk about not relishing. But keep going.
I don't know for real if you really do that, right? But to die with the tide coming, you got to show up. So when you young and you have a gun, you trying to impress the person that you're looking up to. When this person bring you up, shoot him. Just point the gun that way and pull the trigger. So it's easy back then. And once you shoot somebody and you see the bullets
So
into them,
we could drop that. So the main point he said is the reason why he was doing it because he was trying to impress somebody, right? Why do you think he's trying to impress the people on the streets? Because he doesn't have a father in his household. So he's looking for affirmation. Young kids need reinforcement. They need affirmation. They're supposed to get it from their parents. But when their parents are not around, they go to the streets. So let me show you. Let's now remember now, this is a serial killer. Everybody know his rap sheet. This is Hot Boy. You know about King Von. But let me show you how he views this man. They call him the Black John Wick. But this dude, military dude. Let me show you the difference. Go ahead and play. And now if you look at the military dude, he grew up with his daddy. Very, they were family, very family oriented. But play.
So, Terrence, have you ever wanted to be a soldier? And, have you ever wanted to be a gangster?
No, I've never wanted to be a soldier for this reason. And I love to listen to him talk because when you listen to somebody like this with a lot of wisdom, somebody that been in the field, you realize you just in a way you're a little peon. Like we be really thinking in our world, oh, I'm that dude, I'm that gangster, I'm that man. Give me that gun, I know how to hold him, and you know how we be turning him, you know. But when you listen to him, you be like, man, you ignorant. You just a young.
Pause.
No.
So it shows you that if you had somebody, you might have Titus 2 and 3, well, Titus 2 and 1, showing that if you had the right man around you, that a lot of these young men wouldn't even go this route. He's saying it himself. Only place I want fathers.
I got you.
All right.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 2. That the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
So the older men are supposed to instruct the young men on how to move. So men like him probably wouldn't even took that route if they would have had men like that that they in their life. They probably would have showed them a better way, or showed them that what they was doing, they don't even want to move that way. But instead he had the wrong influences. I mean, we're gonna stick on the wrong influences. We're gonna go there. So let's do BJ. I think it's 1.
So when someone would get hit, like innocent, would that start the war the most?
Oh, definitely. That becomes the most volatile wars because of the innocent people, you know, the sacrifice of the innocents. That hurts the worst. Because they, you know, the people who suffer, who really, really don't gangbang and don't deal with this lifestyle, period. That's the worst of the worst losses, bro.
Yeah. What do you say when you hear like in these lyrics, like the kids are saying, we don't give a fuck, granny, mom, daddy, we shooting? Like when you hear that mindset in these records and you see the youth, like, why do you think it got so bad?
The wrong influence, bro. Just the wrong influence. See, they can't blame it on us. And when I say us, the 90s hip hop era, because the transition was different. The big wigs wouldn't allow that shit. They wouldn't let us do it. I got so much music turned down because of that.
So Paul,
the fact is,
so in a way he doesn't want to take accountability, but he is at fault. These older gentlemen, the older Crips and the older Bloods, and whatever else gang you're affiliated with that's similar, these old heads taught them how to move like this. They wouldn't be, matter of fact, go back to it. Ciroc Fontaine, let's go back to that. They wouldn't be like that if it wasn't for these men giving them the example, teaching them the example on how to move like this. This is, yes, it is his fault. He could say, oh no, we was different. So what? They get worse with time. But you the one instilled that in them. Go ahead, play.
Sirach chapter 4 and verse 10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mothers. So shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother.
Right. So showing these young men, these older men that was supposed to teach the young, like it say in Titus. Instead, what do? They taught the men how to be gangsters, quote unquote gangsters. Really, they didn't do that. They just taught them how to kill each other frivolously, instead of learning how to talk things out and how to handle things like men, conflict resolution. They taught them how to be violent and how to chase after money and have to kill your own people just to get ahead. And the record labels, they played off of that. So now we have the situation where our youth, they're even worse than the first half. So let's go to CC, because CC talks about it. Remember, he's talking about F your grandma, shoot you up, and all that. That's drill music he's talking about. That's how that thing started. And where does drill music come from? Chicago. This is one of the celebrity bodyguards that came from Chicago. So he was very behind the scenes with a lot of the rappers, and he lived in that vicinity, and he knew some things. But you could look at his own story. But he's talking about it. Let's play.
Drill music is probably one of the worst things to take place in music. That's why it's banned in Jamaica, it's banned in Haiti, it's banned in Nigeria, it's banned in Kenya, it's banned in certain places.
But the crazy part is, right, that's just, like you said, that's just Chicago everyday normal life that people gravitated to. So now you see documentary after documentary. You got Trap Lord Ross making documentary on Chicago. When you see these documentaries, how much of that stuff is accurate? What's the percentage that you would say, oh, they spot on or they way off?
I'll say about 20% of it be accurate.
So we could stop there. So the point I want to make is he's telling you some of the worst things that ever was created was this drill music that's being pushed throughout society, because drill music is really just killing each other and bragging about it on racks. God said you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be railing. But because we don't have any pastors to teach us about railing in society, we don't understand the consequences of railing. So let's go to let me give you an example first. Let's do some examples of railing. Let's go to 1 Samuel 25. Our very favorite railer. Remember I talked about earlier, the opposite of being courteous is being churlish. So let's talk about our churlish brother. Go ahead. Verse 1.
1 Samuel chapter 25 and verse 1. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together, and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. And he was shearing his sheep in Carmel.
He was shearing his sheep. So this is a rich man, and he had a very good reputation, and he was shearing his shearers, because he wasn't doing it himself, but he was getting his sheep sheared in Mount Carmel. Go ahead.
Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb.
So Nabal was an idiot. He had a very disrespectful mouth. He talked to everybody crazy, and he was evil. Read.
And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, Get ye up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, Peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them all the while they were in Carmel. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore let the young men find favor in thine eyes. For we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand, unto thy servants and to thy son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all the words in the name of David, and seized. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers, and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So David's young men turned their way and went again, and came and told him all those sayings. And David said unto his men, Gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them.
He what?
He railed on them.
He was talking disrespectful. We have to learn we are not to talk to each other disrespectful. God, it's against the laws of God, but we haven't been taught that. There's consequences to talking crazy to each other. Read, I'm sorry.
But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither miss we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields. They were a wall unto us, both by night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master.
So evil was determined because of what? His foul mouth. Being disrespectful will have evil. You talk to another man crazy, evil will be put upon you. And I'm gonna tell you, most of the time, it's the form of death. God don't play that. You can't talk crazy to each other. God ain't gonna allow nations to talk crazy to us, and He's not gonna allow us to talk crazy to each other. Keep reading.
For evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial, that a man cannot speak to him. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine, and 5 sheep ready, dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn.
So the wife had enough sense to try to calm David down and try to appease Nabal's stupidity. Matter of fact, his name means stupid or something like that. So
stop being a damn fool.
Exactly. So in the end, Nabal ended up dying anyway because God killed him. But because the way she moved, she calmed David down and stopped David from killing everybody. Why? Because Nabal's mouth. Let's go to 2 Samuel 16:5.
Second Samuel chapter 16 and verse 5. And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David. And all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei, when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. The Lord had returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord had delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom, thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man.
So you saw, he started talking to King David crazy. Start throwing rocks at King David. Go to 2 Kings, right when we left off at. See what happened to that brother.
1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself, that the Lord may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. Moreover, thou knowest all what Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the 2 captains of the host of Israel, unto Abner, the son of Ner, and unto Amasa, the son of Jether, whom he slew and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the grave in peace.
So for lack of time, let's go to verse 8.
Verse 8. And behold, thou hast with thee Shimei, the son of Gimra, a Benjamite of Bahurim, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim. But he came down to meet me at Jordan, and I swear to him by the Lord, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowing what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoar head bring down For this whore head bring thou down to the grave with blood.
So, because David was going through something and David was wrong, David didn't kill him. But he never forgot the disrespect that he said to him. So he told his son, I'm not going to kill him, but you going to kill him. Don't think you can just talk to the God. I'm going to tell y'all young men something. Y'all are still gods. You cannot disrespect each other. God does not allow that. God does not play that. There are consequences to that. This is why you see so many rappers getting killed because they're railing to each other. You're not supposed to be. That kind of music is not God. In the spirits, they're charging y'all for that stuff. Matter of fact, now let's get some examples. Let's go to Dolph. Everybody loves young Dolph. I ain't got no issue with the brother, but the brother had a reckless ass mouth. Somebody, you got it? But go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. We'll play that.
Hey, open the door. Let me see.
This is young Dolph's SUV.
Look, he's going up the one way. Look. Open the door, man. Let me hear. Nigga just let that shit go. I knew I wasn't tripping. That shit sound like fireworks.
So that's the night where they shot at his SUV. His SUV was bulletproof. They shot it over 100 times because he was beefing with, y'all know who he was beefing with. I ain't finna rile all that up. But they kept going back and forth, railing for railing. So then after that, he comes out with 100 shots. Go ahead and play 100 shots. So then he throws out a diss track because they didn't kill him. It sound familiar, don't it? Same thing. So he gonna play the. All right. That's enough of that. So everybody knows what was his demise. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even put up his demise. Everybody know what happened. Dude got shot in his own city. Why? Well, talking reckless. Don't know when to stop. He could have appeased that. They could have appeased that a long time ago, but instead they kept railing for railing. So he ended up not making it. So it reminded me of your boy Tupac. Play to hit him up. That's what it's like. These brothers don't get it. They was taught not to do this in the 90s, but they decided to do it anyway. All right, play this.
Pac said he actually Biggie's wife.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
You can actually say that? Nations go to war over words.
Pause. You heard what the man said? Proverbs 18:21. We have to learn how to watch our mouths. Keep it right there. On. Don't go nowhere with that video. I just want to, y'all got to understand. You cannot just talk reckless. There is a repercussion for that. You either going to have to put up or shut up. And shut up means you're going to be shut up in a casket. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Say that again.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
So you have to learn how to respect each other. You cannot, these rappers got to stop talking to each other like this, or the death rate is going to keep increasing. And you teaching these young men to talk to each other like that, and you teaching them to go ahead and put a mark of death on them. You cannot talk to each other this way. Keep playing the video.
First off, fuck your bitch in the click you claim.
You cannot do that.
You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife.
But Pac said it though. Like, damn, those are war words.
Those are what words? Those are war words. Disquieting friends. That's what scriptures talk about, because they used to be friends. Go to James chapter 3. Start at verse 2. While he getting that, let's play Yellow and Mo. Just get the sound first. I wish I was trying to. It's one where they actually got the damn lyrics of Mo 3 bragging. You should hear the lyrics. And then it has Beezy on the Breakfast Club explaining how he got shot and how he got away. And the lyrics is saying everything that Beezy is saying. So the nigga shoots, tries to kill Beezy. And then now Beezy comes back and what? Kills him. But not only did he try to kill him, but he did what? He made a diss song about it. These brothers are crazy. But go ahead. Is the volume work? Is the volume working?
knew the situation between Yellow Beezy.
Go ahead.
Beezy and Mo 3. Mo 3 got on the track and bragged about shooting Yellow Beezy multiple times. Bragged about killing Trap Boy Freddie Homeboys multiple times. So I understand his mom and friends want justice for him, but let's call a spade a spade. These was two street niggas beefing. Amen.
Pause.
It all started.
Pause. Reap what you sow. Galatians 6.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
So when God tell you not to be railing for railing, and now you see the outcome. God is not mocked. He told you not to do it. There's going to be consequences to doing it. Go ahead and play.
Then when Yellow Beezy got Roy Lee knocked off. Now, why he did that, I don't know. Dude was a whole comedian. But allegedly, Yellow Beezy had enough of this man and got him killed. Mo 3 was not having that shit because that was one of his best friends. One of his only friends in the music industry. One of his only friends in the city. So what did Mo 3 do? Catch Yellow Beezy at a strip club, chase him through every light imaginable, and shot the fuck out him on the highway. Yellow Beezy, being way smarter than Mo 3, came back and got Mo 3 friend killed named Lil Bubba. The murder of Lil Bubba was publicized and shown all on TV because it was mafia style, so they knew then hits was being ordered in Dallas. After that, that put Mo 3 back against the wall, and he had to show that he was out here guerrilla status. So he started stepping on shit, robbing shit, shooting shit, bragging about it. 3 was a whole villain. Trap Boy and Yellow Beezy could not take
a whole villain. What does scripture say? Ministers women breathe 4 months. Let's go back to that. Because remember, say the mama and the grandma, they want justice. It's always the high school, the baby picture with the halo. They find a halo. They put an AI halo on the baby picture to make these demons look like they were some nice, good kids when they damn demons. And then everybody talking about justice. God is justice. That's street justice. You can't do what you think. Reap what you sow. That's why you gotta get. That's why you young men. You gotta get out the streets because it's not worth it. Gangsters don't live long. Fathers do. Husbands do. Gods do. Gangsters don't. You're the wrong G. You need to be a top G. Stop trying to be these little fake G's. Go ahead.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
So he told you this man just went on a damn killing spree, a robbing spree, a shooting spree. All right. Why was he what? Why the police didn't get involved? They could have saved his life. Could have arrested his ass a long time ago. But God had better. But God said, you know what? Nah, I got something better for him. I'm gonna let him come up here and rest with me. Go ahead and play that.
Taken, so as a result, they commenced murder. Allegedly, they commenced it. So we saying long live 3, and that's on me. But the truth of the matter is, we have 2 young black superstars who was very successful, had children, supported their family and friends. They were great black men for the community, but they chose violence and threw it all away.
How the hell was they great black men for the community? Our people crazy. These two was 2 niggas in the streets. I think one was a Crip, one was a Blood. Exactly. Man, play that, because that's Boosie boy.
Come on, man.
Boosie, get your boy. You following in Boosie's steps. Matter of fact, 1 Corinthians 15:33.
Come on.
One of the common denominators for a lot of this was the company you keep is what's going to mold you into what you are. Go ahead and play that.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So this is what's going on. A lot of the stuff that you saw was the wrong people around these people, and they molded them into what they are. Whether it's their mother, their father, whether it's the streets, whether it's their friends, whatever you want to look at it, you got to watch the company that you keep. The company that you keep is what you're going to turn into. What does the scriptures talk about? Sirach, every beast loves his kind. Is it 13?
Come on.
While he getting that, play Mo 3. Show you the outcome. Remember, you reap what you sow. So this is Mo 3. They showed the surveillance. Go ahead and play it.
And Your Honor, this is
your boy.
Just for context, this is approximately noon on I-35 heading northbound. This video is taken from a...
And first off, you got to be a bold brother to try to murder somebody on I-35 with all that damn traffic. He wanted him at noon? And the traffic, if you drive I-35 at noon, damn near everywhere it's traffic. This brother wanted him. Because I ain't nowhere in hell. I'm trying to get off the road at noon, let alone get on the highway. But go ahead.
Miller.
I mean, he was over there by Fort Worth somewhere.
I-35 into downtown
Terrible.
Dallas on noon on November 11, 2020.
In the construction area. He wanted him.
Now, Your Honor, if I could draw the court's attention, if you look on the, I've stopped this video at 19 seconds. You see a gold sedan in the far left lane and a black sedan in the second lane to the left. The gold sedan will be the vehicle carrying the victim, and the black sedan is the vehicle driven by Q1 White, who is then the shooter.
So Mo 3 is in the gold sedan, and then with Beezy homeboy is in the black sedan. Damage is done. He done got shot. He's trying to run. They trying to make sure he gone. Why? Because of a reckless ass mouth. And like I told you, this is 12 o'clock on 35. These brothers wanted him. Because ain't nowhere in hell I'm going to be out there doing these. All right. Reap what you saw. Where we left it? Go. What we got?
Yeah, that's Sirach 13.
Go ahead, play it.
Sirach chapter 13 and verse 15. Every beast loveth his like.
So these street Negroes is dying by street Negroes. Why? Every beast loveth his like. Y'all have, look, if you don't want to die, if you don't want to live this type of lifestyle, young men, I'm telling you now, change your ways now before it gets too bad. A lot of you young men don't know what you in for. I'm going to do one. I'm going to show you the real consequences. Jail and prison and what go on there. This is just a little bit of a little brush of showing you some of the implications that can happen as you young men. Because they don't really tell y'all how life really go. You watch these shows, you look at rap videos, you see these rappers, but you don't really understand the severity of what they're really going through. And it's all a facade. And the facade is painted there to get you to follow in the same steps as them because they want you to die. Why? Because you're population control. If they can get you locked up for the rest of your life, working for them for free, or if they can get you taken out, that's a form of population control. And they don't want you to be fulfilling your greatness. So you young men, if you seeing this and you say, I don't want to be like this, go ahead and start changing your ways now. It's not too late. Or, matter of fact, while we in Galatians, let's go to provoke them not to wrath.
Come on.
6 again. Was it 6 and 1?
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 1. Verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
Meaning, do not provoke your children to the wrath of the Lord by not teaching them the ways of God. Because this is just a minute consequences that they're going to end up facing if they continue following the ways of these goofy influencers, whether they're YouTube influencers, whether they rap influencers, whether they're NBA influencers, whether they're street influencers. They're not getting their influence from the right spot. They're supposed to be getting it from the Bible, from their real heroes. And as long as they keep looking at these type of men and thinking that these men are their role models, they're not going to end well for them. So go back to 1 Corinthians 15. Remember, be mindful of the company that you keep.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So go to James 3 and 2 again.
James chapter 3 and verse 2. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body.
So it lets you know that you're going to say things sometimes. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to offend. But there's ways to handle the offenses. But one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to make things worse. A lot of these situations could easily be avoided if somebody just had a conversation and there was some respect involved. But a lot of times it's why? Because they're raised by women. They don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to respect each other. They don't want to take accountability. And they rail for rail. So instead of living a life out, because you know what he said, both of these people got families. But now what? One kid is locked up and got to see their daddy. They got to see their daddy from behind the glass for the rest of their life. And the other one got to go to the visit their daddy in the grave. And both of them probably going to do the opposite. That young man probably going to go kill Beezy's children as revenge when he get older. And you just pushing the cycle over and over again because you're not thinking about the big picture and all the other variables that can affect you and your household. But go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 4. Behold, also the ships which they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listed.
Keep going.
Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasted great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body.
So it's showing you that your tongue is full of iniquity. It can be done. It can be used for good and it can be used for bad, but it's full of iniquity. That's why Christ told you that your yeas be yeas and your nays be nays. Everything else is evil. Why? Because the more you talk, the more evil gonna slip out. Why? Because your mind is always pushing evil thoughts within your brain. And the more evil thoughts come through your brain, the more evil thoughts will come through your mouth. That's why you have to, number one, study. You have to start studying the Bible to try to get good things in your mind.
You should be reading your Bible. Reading your Bible.
That's right. Because if you don't, everything you think about is always going to be evil. Deacon did a class yesterday. He talked about how once you start learning the laws, then you in the more sin. Why? Because now you're conscious of the sin. So now you see sin more everywhere. So now it plagues you more. So it helps you change your spirit. It helps make you better. Because now you start seeing things in a better light. You start realizing how much sin you're in the midst of. So now I guess you got to do. Now you got to start purging it. And the more that you purging it, the more you find new sins. And eventually you'll learn how to speak good things and you'll learn how to speak less evil things. But it's all in the power of the tongue. And your tongue is full of iniquity because your mind is full of iniquity. So you got to learn how to watch your mouth. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tame, and hath been tame of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God.
That reminds me, because half of these cats win an award, and the first thing they want to do is get on stage and do what? Thank God. Thank God, but you made a diss track about killing a nigga, and then you got a Grammy for it, so now you want to thank God. It just shows you the spirit behind the tongue. So if you haven't learned anything from this class, remember, watch your mouth, because there will be consequences for the things that you say. That'll be it. I'll conclude the class there. Shalom.